Coming up on the program. As part of the new Nsukka series, we see another exhibition, but this time by Eva Obodo, still at the Co Gallery, Lagos. Then a group art exhibition at Artpedia Gallery. We see that and more in a moment. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Thank you for joining us.
Bloom Time by Stella Oboko is our wordsmith for this week. Bloom time, some for the morning, some at noon, and some for the night. Bloom time, bloom time. Some are morning glories, some are noon shines, and some are night royals. Bloom time, bloom time. Let the morning have its splendor, for the noon sun will shine, and the night shore will reign. Bloom time, bloom time. When you bloom, your beauty shows, your sparkle spreads, and your fragrance smells. Bloom time, bloom time. Different bloom times. When it's your time, you sure will bloom.
Stella's Bloom Time has a nice ring to it. Well done for that, as we encourage others to keep at it so they'll also have their day in the sun. The Persistence of Time is an exhibition featuring 6 contemporary artists who bring their creative inspirations to the Artpedia Gallery in Lagos.
"28 paintings from the Artpedia Gallery's vast collection is what is being showcased in a group exhibition titled Persistence of Time.
We are exhibiting 6 contemporary artists: Ada Godspower, Sejiro, Avoseh, Habeeb, Andu, Elizabeth Ekpetorson, Frederick Idele, and Ikechukwu Ezeigwe.
The works of art that have been carefully selected by the gallery were done by 6 artists who bring their different techniques to bear.
We are trying to connote the influence of time in creativity. You know, everything is created in time. Like, you need time to do. Creativity exists in time. So if you look at artworks, the evolution of art, the production of art, where artists are taking it to presently, you will find out that the only thing persistent is time. Time is the most persistent. Although it was borrowed from the iconic painting of great Spanish artist Salvador Dalí, which was The Persistence of Memory. That's where the title was borrowed from. But these artists, their works kind of interconnect because of their style, their art style, the message that they portray. And so that's how it's a random pick, but top of our head, that's the best we could do for now.
The theme or the subject of the exhibition is the persistence of time, and I mean, while looking through the pictures of the current exhibit, I was sort of reminded about the Surrealism art movement of the early 20th century, and I think most significant was Salvador Dalí's The Persistence of Memory. And I just felt you want to liken not necessarily this exhibit to that particular work, but the movement it's come from, you know, the subconscious mind being given the authority to create. And I mean, that was the first thing that came to my mind when I looked at the works. And it sort of really did fit the theme or the subject that I was aiming for, and we're able to create, the exhibition out of that.
Even though they were randomly picked, they reflect the times and reflections of the mind of the artists who created them between 2017 to 2021.
My works are just visual arts, you understand, with a lot of relief forms in it, with a lot of relief forms in it, because I try to create a situation where the canvas is not flat. So I add, recovered objects, fabrics and paper, and then work on it to create my own style, to create my own unique style, with motifs and all that, to Africanize it.
My work talks much about me, my very self. Not so concerned about any other thing but myself, my everyday experience, how I live my life, relationships and all that with people and all that. That's what my work's about. This very work here, this salvation, talk about our Lord Jesus Christ, why he's here, his relationship with human and everything, and how he came to save the world. You see, inside my works, you see symbols, and those symbols have representative value. In there, you see, when you come to Christ, there's so much of joy. If you go closer to the work, you see some dancing figures. You see the eye there, the watching eye of Christ, where he's able to watch through everyone and what they do. The other work over there, that's the weight. The weight is actually a love story, one of my love story. Oh, we have myself and some other, my very spouse, I had to wait for a very long time. Sometimes in relationships, it takes so much time thinking of if you should wait or not to wait. But funny enough, in this very case, it was the best decision I made so far, trying to wait. Over there, trying to depict that, you see our love story in there, how I waited for my spouse to come down to me after a very long time, and she's finally coming on the boat, and that's just the beauty of it. And it's just me.
The work Standing Tall Despite is an ode to the resilient nature and the resilient spirit of the average Nigerian, who soldiers on, who still believes in the country, who still believes that we can still achieve, we can still do a lot, despite all that is being thrown at us, despite the insecurity, despite we still have this positive outlook to life and still soldier on. So this is an ode to everyone who is still standing tall, who hasn't let himself to be broken down. This is an ode to that.
Nigerians and Africans are beginning to wake up to appreciate their own art. And it's quite too early to begin to project, but it's going to happen. A curve is coming. The arts are going to be valued properly. And we're heading to that curve very closely. So, but for now, African art is very deep, and the world knows. The problem is for Africans to know, and we are already knowing.
They're all very exceptional, very good. I like the collections. They're very contemporary. Ada Godspower, I've known him for a while. His works are very nice. Habeeb, Sejiro, Elizabeth. They're all well nice put together. So for me, they're more of like an emerging artist that are like the future. Because we need a lot of artists like this for tomorrow.
The gallery intends to keep spotlighting the best in the creative sector while bringing artists and collectors together.
It's good to see more art houses opening up despite the global pandemic, because COVID-19 or not, our artists are still doing what they know how to do best. Let's begin with Aradende's work done with oil, sawdust and acrylic on canvas, which says, "I think I'm alone." Then Olamide Ogunade has this melanin fashionista done with charcoal and acrylic on paper. Then Joy Alagbe has King Queen to Be, a charcoal and acrylic on canvas piece. Wakilani Oladimeji says Mother is Gold with this acrylic on canvas piece. Celebration is how Fashola Usman titles this acrylic on canvas work. Then Joshua Jayola has Dreams, Time and Reality. He said it's a celebration of his champion, Floyd Mayweather, is done with charcoal pencil on paper. Then One More Night, Romeo and Juliet, is a pen on paper work done by Elayo Ashi. In Love Series 2 is a charcoal on paper work done by Akinola Olaito. Then Four Dancers is an acrylic on canvas piece done by Joel Wachuku. Who am I? That's what Ajewale is asking with this his charcoal pencil on paper piece, which concludes our works of art for this week. Thank you for sending them in, and we encourage you to keep them coming. Let's take a moment now. When Art House returns, we enjoy a solo exhibition by this renowned contemporary artist from the Nsukka School. Join us again.